Rockstar have added a ton of amazing vehicles in Grand Theft Auto Online, but there's some that aren't so great, and those are the ones we're going to be talking about in this video today. 10 vehicles that are a total waste of money and have actually become useless. So brace yourself, because you're going to see some popular vehicles and cars on this list, but I'm going to explain why they have become obsolete in 2018 for Grand Theft Auto Online. So let's jump into this. Let's get it started. The number one spot today, the Titan. So the Titan was once one of the most legendary vehicles. You had to go to Fort Zancudo in order to acquire it. Well, now since then, two things have happened. Number one, the Titan spawns everywhere. It spawns at Fort Zancudo, which we now get free access to thanks to the hangars. It also spawns at LSIA, which you could get for free. You could steal one. It was a total waste of money to buy one. But also, number two, with the addition of the Bombushka, which is essentially a better Titan that can seat more people, that has weapons, has better armor, etc. It essentially has put the Titan out of business. So there's no need to buy a Titan. Number one, you shouldn't anyways, but with the new addition of the Bombushka and the fact that you can get into Fort Zancudo without any wanted stars or anything like that, now it is just completely worthless. Don't spend your money on a Titan. The number two spot today, the Kraken Submarine. So the Kraken is actually free for a lot of players, which is actually kind of nice. So you can buy a Kraken if you want. I think it's like $500,000, maybe a little bit more than that. But for me, it was free. I'm sure it is for you as well. Don't buy the Kraken. For the longest time, it was the only viable underwater submarine option. Now we have the Stromberg. The Stromberg has put the Kraken out of business, so now it is a total waste of money in order to buy. The Stromberg is faster than the Kraken. It can be spawned in instantly because it's not a Pegasus vehicle. It can go from land to water. It is weaponized. Do I need to keep going? The Stromberg has put the Kraken out of business. Don't buy the Kraken. Even if it's free, don't get it. Just use the Stromberg. It's way better. The number three spot today, I'm putting two vehicles in this category. They came out in Finance and Felony and then in Cunning Stunts, and it is the Dune and the Brigade. So I don't know who designed these two vehicles at Rockstar, but I'm almost positive their objective was, let's make the two most worthless vehicles of all time. So with the Brigade, number one, there's nothing armored about it. And number two, for its size, it can only seat 2 players on the inside and 2 players on the outside. It tips over incredibly easily. Like if you bump into this car, it's going to tip over. So I totally don't understand that. And it was supposed to be this very cool armored vehicle featured in the Finance and Felony DLC. So I'm not sure what their general purpose for this vehicle was outside of when you use it in missions. Don't buy the Brigade. It's totally not worth it. And then getting to the Brigade's little brother, the Dune, this was added in Cunning Stunts, but guess what? You can't use it in any of the races. I think it's like an off-road vehicle, and it's actually kind of fast. It has some cool liveries on there. This one, you don't have enough customization. And number two, you can't use it in races. What's the point of this? And it can't store a vehicle like the MOC can. Now, what would have made this worth it is if it could have stored vehicles, but it can't. And that's why, in my opinion, it is worthless and a total waste of money. Another vehicle that's a waste of money is the $1 million dump. Honestly, don't buy this thing. So I know a lot of people are going to say, well, you can have fun with it and you can spawn it in. Yeah, like the 5 locations around the map it can spawn in. If you really want to have fun with it, go to the mining quarry up near where Trevor lives and just get one yourself. It's going to be way better than spending $1 million and having this thing take up one of your Pegasus list spots. It's really just not worth it at all. It is so slow. It doesn't crush things like you think it would. In fact, it really just gets in the way and stuck on objects where you can't really move it. So don't buy the dump. I know it's tempting. It's $1 million. Save your money. Don't waste your money on this vehicle. At the number 5 spot, the armored Boxville. So this is by far one of the worst vehicles that Rockstar has ever added in Grand Theft Auto Online. It's called the armored Boxville, yet it isn't armored. Bullets can go straight through it. It takes 1 explosive or 1 sticky bomb or RPG in order to blow it up. And did I mention this thing tips incredibly easily? It also doesn't have bulletproof tires, and there's no way that you can add them to the vehicle. And the weapons on there are pretty bum. So needless to say, this vehicle really doesn't do anything right. And there's so many other better either armored vehicles in the game or weaponized vehicles in the game. This one tries to be both, with like a little phantom wedge, wedge on the front. Just don't buy this vehicle. It's one of the biggest wastes of money of all time. The next 2 vehicles actually are going to be from Import Export. and this one is the Technical Aqua. So there are a bunch of way better watercrafts in the game now that have weapons on them. I mean, the Deluxo, that isn't even a watercraft, puts the Technical Aqua completely out of business. It makes it totally worthless and a big waste of money. Because in the hover mode, the Deluxo can just go on water and it can still use its weapons. And you don't even need a second person in order to use the weapons. And what's great about the Deluxo is when it's not in hover mode, it's still a viable car. Whereas with the Technical Aqua, it's clunky, it's got those water barrels on the outside, it gets stuck on everything. It's a pretty piss poor car. So don't buy the Technical Aqua. It's not worth it at all. Since that vehicle has been added, there has been way better watercrafts and even normal weaponized vehicles that have been introduced in the game. At the number 7 spot, the Ruiner 2000. Now, I think this is going to have the most pushback. I can hear you guys right now. What do you mean, Mr. Boss? I love the Knight Rider, the Ruiner 2000. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I like the Knight Rider too. I think it's a really cool car. But the Ruiner 2000 has been put out of business by nearly every single other vehicle that Rockstar has added into the game. Whether it's the Oppressor, whether it's the Vigilante, whether it's the Deluxo, especially the Deluxo. In fact, the only thing that the Ruiner 2000 really does well now is the ability to jump and the ability to parachute. Woohoo, that does you so much. But there are way better vehicles in terms of speed, in terms of missiles. Remember, the Ruiner 2000 only has 8 missiles. The Vigilante, I think, has 30. The Deluxo has 30. It puts it out of business. And for the price, don't buy this vehicle anymore. It was great for a time. We enjoyed it. But the Ruiner 2000 is no longer a viable option, and I consider it a waste of money. Now, I think that this vehicle has always been a waste of money, but that is the Tug. So the Tugboat is actually the last boat we've had added into the game. Can you believe that? Rockstar haven't done any boats since the Tug. This vehicle is just slow. It's cumbersome. It tips over very easily. Did I mention it's really slow? You can't really control it. If you really want to enjoy the Tug, just do some of the finance and felony missions. You're actually bound to get one of the sell missions that requires you to use the Tug. And trust me, that'll be the last time you're going to want to use this vehicle. It's that bad. I don't recommend it at all. It's a total bust of a vehicle in pretty much every way, shape, and form. Where Rockstar messed up with the Tug is they didn't give it enough exclusive features. And you get on this thing and it really just does nothing. And that is sort of the downfall of the Tug. The number 9 spot today, the Rhino Tank. Yes, the original Rhino Tank. So even though this vehicle has gotten easier to access because Fort Zancudo is now open, you can just go inside and take one. It's been put out of business by several other tanks that have been added. Specifically with gun running, you have the APC, which is much more powerful, armor resistant, and is much quicker. And also the Khanjali, which is quicker, can seat more people, and is much more armor resistant. And did I mention that the Khanjali has a railgun attachment as well? So needless to say, the slow, pitiful little Rhino tank that can only have one other person with you is just completely obsolete now. There's other tanks. There's way better weaponized vehicles. Don't waste your money on a Rhino tank. If you really, really want one, go up to Fort Zancudo. You'll again figure out why you don't need one. It's just one of the most slow, cumbersome vehicles of all time. All right, and finally, at the number 10 spot today, we're going to be combining two vehicles because honestly, they deserve it. The two Deluxe Aircrafts. So I'm talking about the Luxor Deluxe and the Swift Deluxe. I think one of them is $10 million. The other one is like $5.5 million. These are some of the most worthless aircrafts of all time. So as far as features go, before Smuggler's Run came out, they actually had some of the most unique features in the game. But now with Smuggler's Run, you can essentially get any aircraft you want to be customized like that to a T. You can make them gold if you want. I think you can bring a Luxor or a Swift in there and make it gold as well. So if you really want that golden paint job, which is primarily one of the biggest reasons why those were priced the way they were, is because they were gold. You can browse the internet anytime. You can smoke cigars and anywhere else. You can drink champagne from your office. You don't need a plane in order to do that. And on top of that, these planes can't go in passive mode either. So they're not weaponized as well, but you can't bring them into a passive mode in order to enjoy them. So someone could just blow you out of the sky for doing absolutely nothing. So stay away from these vehicles. They're a waste of money, and they're absolutely worthless as well. But anyways, that right there is the top 10 most useless vehicles that I think are a waste of money in Grand Theft Auto Online. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments section down below, though. What vehicles do you think are a complete waste of money in Grand Theft Auto Online. Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comment section down below. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. We like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.